It all started back in round about 1999. I'd worked at Rothwell Colliery near Leeds for 16 years as the colliery safety officer, and the pit closed in 1984 and I moved on. Leeds Council obtained the site from the National Coal Board, or British Coal as it was then, and they intended using the site for a country park. And it was also on the Pennine Trail as well, which added to the interest for the Leeds Council. I was asked if I could go down to the colliery, the old colliery site. All the buildings had been demolished. It was just like it was a derelict site. All the buildings were there, but there were certain bricks still lying about. And I was asked to go down to give the landscapers a view as to where buildings used to be, and I was able to help in that way. But while we were walking around with the foreman, I noticed that these bricks were lying about and the names of the brickmakers were there. So I asked him what was going to happen to them, and he says they'll all be collected up and broken up, and they're going to be used for ballast for a road that's coming into what will be the new country park. So straight away I thought, well, it's a shame these things being broken up, and I asked him if I could take some. Took about half a dozen or a dozen so, and came back. And eventually I collected about 40, all different name makers. And that's where the interest started, because none of these brick makers were still in business. And I felt it was something like the coal mining industry that were going to the wall, and the shipbuilding and the steel industry in Sheffield. And all these industries were dying, and brickmaking was one of them. So anyway, when I got them home, by this time I didn't know what to do with them. So I eventually finished up putting a path down and building a small wall here with the name showing. And it became a bit of an obsession. So every time we go out now, well, every time we used to go out, because Maureen's been ill with cancer, she's recovering from cancer, so we don't go out as often as we used to do, but I used to carry a plastic bag. And 9 times out of 10 I would come back with a brick in the plastic bag, and it would add to the collection. When you think about it, we have 150 bricks, and you can look at a brick and say, oh yeah, I remember when we got that. I know this sounds a bit silly really, but I remember when we got that. We once went down to Wedgwood, it's Stoke-on-Trent, isn't it? The Wedgwood Visitor Centre, Stoke-on-Trent. And in 5 minutes we'd been round it. It was just selling second-hand Wedgwood stuff. So we came out, and there was a Tesco over a railway line, and we thought Tesco would be more interesting than Wedgwood stuff. So as we're going down to this railway line, there were a demolition taking place. An old factory had been knocked down. And I saw this brick, and the fence was up, and I could just get my hand inside the fence and pick this brick up. And it's, now then, it's a Hewitt Brothers of Fenton Low in Staffordshire. Now that has got a story, because we were at Wedgwood Visitor Centre, we didn't like it, we wrote to Tesco, we saw this brick, and it's just a little thing, not interesting to anybody else, but it is to us. And some bricks you can say, oh yeah, we found that there and this, and there is a little story. One day is very much like another when you get older. I'm 78, as I say, Maureen's 75, and we've seen a lot of changes in our life, but it's going too fast. Can you let's slow it down a wee bit? Because we certainly need it slowing down, we do.